Okay, so PTTP is here in Stamford. Stamford Police Station. So it does look like it has an open inquiry office. Looks like a very small station, mind you. They've literally got 2 cars and 1 van. So yeah, it does look like a very small station. They do have signage saying no unauthorised persons or vehicles beyond this point. Users of this car park do so at their own risk, and management will not accept responsibility for damage, accident or loss.
A cameraman arrives outside Stamford Police Station to film from publicly accessible areas, noting clear signage that restricts unauthorized access and making sure he stays outside those boundaries. The station is small, with only a few vehicles visible, and he neither approaches officers nor crosses any marked line, simply recording from a place where any member of the public can lawfully stand. Within minutes, however, a female officer sitting in an idling vehicle appears to take notice. And as often happens when a camera is pointed toward police premises, what begins as quiet, lawful observation seems ready to escalate, raising immediate questions about proportionality and the legal threshold required for intervention.
So yeah, that's interesting. Do have one vehicle idling in the background over there, with somebody at the wheel. Looks like a female PC at the wheel there. But yeah, so potentially. Oh yeah, you're right. No, just having a look around, really, doing some photography. So, nothing to worry about. Pardon? Why not? I mean, it's a police car. It's interesting. So it's nothing to worry about. Just yeah. Oh yeah, it says I've seen signs. So I'm not going past there, but yeah. All right. That's all. There we go. We've got one coming out. Stopping. Interesting.
Hiya.
You're right.
What are you doing?
Pardon?
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Why are you filming?
Because it's a police car.
How come you're here?
Pardon?
How come you're here?
I can't hear you very well.
How come you're filming here?
To get shots of the police car.
Okay.
I mean, that's all. So is there a problem?
I'd rather you weren't on police property.
Well, I mean, I haven't gone past your signs that restrict access. I haven't gone past into that area. But nothing to worry about. Who are you, sorry?
And PC 283 Reed.
283 Reeve. Thank you.
PC Reeve approaches and asks what the issue is, and the cameraman calmly explains he has remained outside the signage restricting access and is filming from a public area. After identifying herself, she appears uncertain how to proceed, and within moments an inspector and additional officers join her, for officers now standing around one individual with a camera. The photographer notes how intimidating that feels, especially given that he is compliant and lawfully present. When multiple uniformed officers converge on someone engaged in a lawful activity, it can appear disproportionate. And as the inspector begins probing his intentions, the tension in the encounter starts to rise.
Bizarre.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
Are you doing the news, please?
Pardon?
Are you doing the news, please?
Just having a look at your cars now, really. Just saw this PC was idling up there, and I thought figured she was going to be coming out in a second. So Yeah, just waiting for... Oh, my days. Hang on, so we got an inspector,
Yeah,
a PC?
Yeah.
PC? Inspector.
So
So we got 4 police officers for a man with a camera.
Right.
But it's quite intimidating, isn't it, having 4 people come out?
There's private vehicles there as well as vehicles that are unmarked.
Sure, but
I'm just wondering what you're doing.
But it's quite intimidating having 4 officers come out and accost somebody with a camera.
You're here on police premises.
Yeah, but like 4 people,
We
really?
need to establish
Okay.
whether there's a security issue.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk to me about what you're here for? I've got no issue with you filming, but as I've said, there's private vehicles.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
also
not my intention to get those. If they're in the background of a shot, they're in the background of a shot, but I'm not here to... I'm not...
doing a news piece. Do you want an interview? I'll talk to you if you'd like to have an interview.
Not particularly, no. Just want to have a look around, that's all. Just like to look around.
I saw you obviously trying to walk around there.
You should be careful with the information that you say like that, because I wasn't trying to walk around there at all. I was stood there for a good 4 minutes watching you in your vehicle, and I saw the sign saying no unauthorised access. So don't tell me that I was trying to walk places where I wasn't. Be careful with things like that.
Have you got the footage that you need?
I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
Okay, but I'd like you to leave because, as I've said, there are private vehicles there. But you've got some footage. You've got enough. There's nothing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the footage I was getting was actually interrupted.
The inspector suggests he was attempting to enter restricted areas, but he immediately corrects her, explaining he stood observing for 4 minutes and never crossed the posted signage. He calmly asks her to be careful about making inaccurate claims. She then pivots to concerns about private vehicles being captured on camera, and he clarifies that any vehicles are merely incidental, as his focus is the public-facing police station. When an officer mischaracterizes your actions, politely correcting the record, especially on camera, is often a sensible step. At this point, the exchange begins shifting from objective facts to subjective concerns, and it appears the inspector may be searching for firmer grounds to justify further intervention.
By the PC stopping and coming out, but so I'll probably wait around to see if any more vehicles come in or out, see if I can get one on blue lights.
You didn't do that because, as I've said, there's private cars coming in and out. Officers don't want you recording them coming and going from duty because that presents a potential security risk.
Well, they shouldn't drive to work then, really, should they? If they're that
you have
concerned.
No business to film the private areas that are off limit to the public.
I have every business to film anything that's visible
You
from
can-
a public
you can-
area.
But my point is, you shouldn't be going up there, which is what you've done.
I haven't gone past the signage where your signage is. It doesn't say the signage. The signage is the signage here saying that I can't go further than this, or is the signage there saying I can't go further than there? My personal use, public interest.
Well, my personal vehicle is there, and I'm
Okay.
asking you, from me to you as a private individual, I'm not comfortable with you violating my personal space.
It's not your personal space. It's
Well,
a
my vehicle there, my private vehicle is there, and I'm
Okay.
not comfortable with you filming that.
Well, if you hadn't announced that it was your private vehicle, nobody would ever
But
have
I'm
known.
telling
now.
you it is, so
No, you
therefore
are
I'm
doing
asking
now.
you to stop. Yeah,
Well, I'm not going to. It's in a public
in which
area.
case you'll have to be removed to prevent breach of the
But
peace, because you are
How am I
here.
how am I breaching the peace? Do you know what the threshold is for breach of the peace?
You already have enough footage, so I'm asking you to leave.
Okay,
You're creating it that these
no.
officers aren't able to get on with their policing
I'm not
duty.
stopping them.
There are individuals, as I was, getting on with a matter that's a concern to the community.
The inspector argues that officers don't want their private vehicles filmed as they arrive or leave duty. The cameraman replies that if privacy is a concern, alternative arrangements might be considered, but reiterates he has stayed outside the restricted signage. She again claims he entered off-limits areas, and he calmly repeats that he did not cross any boundary. The inspector then states her personal vehicle is on site and says she feels uncomfortable, framing the filming as a violation of personal space. However, recording from a public area generally does not amount to invading personal space in a legal sense. At this stage, the justification appears to be shifting from clear legal grounds to personal discomfort, which can blur the line between lawful enforcement and emotional reaction.
And I've got an individual on police premises filming not only the police cars coming and going, but officers arriving for duty and leaving again. That causes me a concern.
So you're working on conjecture there, because I have specifically said that that is not my intention.
I've said to you, you're causing me a concern. So I'd
Okay.
like you to leave.
Well, you're concerned. Do police by your feelings in this country, or do you police by what the law is?
I'd like you to leave.
Do you police by
I'd
what?
like you to leave.
Do you police by what the law is, or do you
Sir,
police
I'm gonna
by?
get the officers to take you away because you are not.
Am I in a
Look,
public place?
There are officers having private conversations about cases in the backyard of the police station.
Well, they
which
shouldn't
is
be.
not-
They shouldn't be
and you
having
are-
that conversation in that sort of place.
But you shouldn't be there within the the scope of being able
I can
to
be.
film this.
Do you know you can film anything you can see from a public place in the UK?
Okay.
Is this a public place?
This is a public place.
So there you go. So if I can
you
film
are-
it,
let me put it a different way. If you stand at the end of my driveway at home, which
Sure.
is a public place, repairable at public expense,
sure.
then you film into my window.
Mm-hmm.
Is that acceptable?
Is this your home? Do you live here? Do you sleep here?
But these are private premises. Beyond this line here, you are filming from a public into a private space. Is that
Okay.
permitted?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Of course it
No.
is.
So you can stand on my road and film me in my home, can you?
If your curtains are open, then legally, yes, I can.
So,
The inspector raises concern that officers may be discussing sensitive matters in the yard where they could be overheard. The cameraman responds by agreeing that genuinely confidential conversations should be handled securely, but maintains that he is still filming from a public vantage point. She then uses a hypothetical comparison, asking whether it would be acceptable to film into her home from the end of her driveway. He calmly points out that the police station is not a private residence, and that he is only recording what is visible from public space. While comparisons to private homes are often used to illustrate discomfort, they don't always align neatly with how public buildings are treated under law and transparency expectations at this point. The discussion is becoming increasingly tense, with frustration rising on the inspector's side and the exchange moving away from clear legal boundaries toward potential enforcement decisions.
If I continue to do it repeatedly, then you could potentially take action about harassment. But at this point, I've been here once only, to come and get some footage that I want to
have
get.
some footage for a couple of minutes and then you can leave.
No,
please.
you don't put a
If
time. You don't put a time limit
I
on
do
my
put a
rights.
time limit on you, and
No.
I'm telling you
Do you know what
now,
Article 10 is of the
you're-
Human Rights Act?
You are causing me, personally, harassment and alarm by filming here.
Go talk to Lord Justice Bean about it. The police have a much
You
higher
have 2 minutes
threshold.
to leave and then you're going to go.
No,
Otherwise
I'm
you'll be
not.
arrested.
I'm not.
Sure you're-
Arrest me?
Yes,
You're going
be
to arrest me.
arrested.
You'll be hearing from my
Absolutely.
solicitors and you'll be having a civil suit on your hands. Arrest me for
Once
what?
you've listed
What are you going to
details,
arrest me
no,
for?
You are causing a nuisance.
What are you
here.
going to arrest me for?
Either public nuisance or harassment.
Public nuisance.
Yeah.
So under the new legislation, it came with a public. So
You've got your opportunity to film.
So
I'd like you to not film or certainly delete anything that has details of my personal vehicle or that of any other police officers there, and then I want you to go. All right?
you don't put a time limit on my rights.
From getting on with
No,
their
I'm exercising my rights here, and you don't put a time limit on that, Inspector. Inspector what? Blackwell? Thank you.
No, are you all right with me? Yeah, I can do it.
The inspector accuses the cameraman of causing her harassment and states that he must leave. He asks directly whether he is being arrested, and she responds by threatening arrest under public nuisance or harassment. He immediately questions the basis for that, noting that arrest powers require reasonable grounds to suspect a specific offense, not just subjective discomfort. She then demands that he delete footage showing her personal vehicle and officers, but he refuses, stating he is acting within his rights to record from a public place. At this stage, the situation has become a clear test of legal thresholds, whether there are objectively reasonable grounds for arrest, or whether the interaction is being driven by frustration rather than statutory necessity.
Yeah, see, I'm obviously not that much of a concern because you're allowing them to go about their business, yet you're threatening to arrest me. Tyrants here at Stamford. Right guys, it's exactly 9 minutes on my camera now. So I will be here for at least 2 minutes. So we're going to come and have a look at so Monday it's open 9:30 till 5. Tuesday it's closed, Wednesday 9:30 to 5, so it's open like every other day during the week. Weekends it's closed, and the opening hours are 9:30 till 5. They have a defibrillator here. Ah, so this is Lincolnshire Police. I don't think I've done Lincolnshire Police before. types of AFB, I am doing none of those.
The inspector then walks away without proceeding to an arrest. The cameraman states he will remain for a short period longer and continues to observe the station from the public-facing area. He notes practical public information such as opening hours, a defibrillator, community notice boards, and antisocial behavior signage. He also observes that the 101 contact point appears to be out of service. After the earlier confrontation, he resumes calm documentation of what is visible from a lawful public position. This return to routine observation contrasts with the prior tension, reinforcing that his activity remains passive and public-facing. The inspector does not return within the stated time frame, and the situation de-escalates without further enforcement action.
There we go, guys. It's been more than 2 minutes. It's been at least 5. And Inspector Blackwell has not come back out.
The cameraman continues to observe the station area, noting public information such as posters and signage. As the minutes pass beyond the inspector's earlier time frame, no further officers reappear. They reflects on the earlier claim about confidential discussions potentially being overheard, contrasting that concern with his own position filming from a public pavement. From his perspective, the issue highlights inconsistency in priorities. Scrutiny directed at lawful filming, while concerns about operational confidentiality, if accurate, would be a separate matter entirely. With no further engagement from officers, the situation remains static, and the filming continues without additional intervention.
So what I'm going to do is hang around and prove a point to Inspector Blackwell that they will not be putting any infringements on my rights. If I want to come and do some photography around the police station, I will. I will do so unimpeded. It's been over 10 minutes now, guys. And Inspector Blackwell's full of empty threats. Because she knows there's absolutely nothing that she can do legally. To hear her openly admit that police are talking about confidential cases in the backyard. How disgusting is that? And you've got, on the other side of that fence, you've got a residential property. So that'll be somebody's personal backyard, and they're having confidential conversations about cases in the backyard here. Shocking. Well, there we go, guys. I think we've well established that Inspector Blackwell is full of shit, full of empty threats, absolutely nothing she can do.
Over 15 minutes have now passed since the arrest warning, with no further action taken by Inspector Blackwell. The cameraman remarks on what he views as empty threats and questions the attempt to impose a strict time limit on lawful activity in a public space. Suggesting the decision was driven more by frustration than clear legal grounds, he criticizes the earlier escalation, arguing that threats of arrest should be based on clearly met legal thresholds rather than perceived annoyance. At the same time, the situation ultimately de-escalated when the inspector disengaged, which is consistent with stepping back from a situation where no immediate offense was being established. The encounter winds down without further intervention, leaving broader questions around proportionality, communication, and decision-making standards in public-facing policing unresolved.
And yeah, tried throwing around her precious little ego to assert some sort of authority over the member of the public that she doesn't have. How the hell she ever made it to Inspector, I don't know. Making threats of arrest for things that I haven't met the threshold for. She's absolutely delusional. Absolutely delusional. So thinking that she's going to give me a 2-minute time limit on how long I can stand here and film. It must be mental. Stamford police station, full of staff that are scared of people with cameras, and the inspector's just got a very fragile ego, and obviously clearly just didn't like being told no. And as soon as she started making shit up to try and get me on anything, and I mean anything she could. What a tyrant. There we go, guys, until the next one.
The cameraman concludes his recording after remaining on scene beyond the inspector's stated time frame. He reflects on the interaction, arguing that the response from Stamford Police Station staff escalated unnecessarily in response to lawful filming from a public area. But he summarizes his view that filming from publicly accessible locations is generally lawful, with restrictions only applying where clear signage or physical barriers are breached. He also highlights that any threat of arrest must be grounded in reasonable suspicion of a specific offense, rather than subjective discomfort or perception. In his assessment, the decision to disengage after issuing warnings suggests a lack of clear legal footing for further action. The video closes with broader reflections on proportionality, communication, and how public-facing authority interacts with lawful activity.